Okay, hello. This is Sammy. He's decided to sit here for a minute. Welcome to my channel. I am Kim, and we are dealing with the coronavirus. Um, also, I am here to basically, hopefully, help people who suffer with depression and anxiety. Sorry, there's windows are open and he can hear everything that's going on outside because everybody's outside because nobody can stand to be inside any longer. Anyway, I don't know if you noticed my shirt here. Assistant to regional manager from The Office, the show. I don't know if y'all listen to that. Y'all, I never use the word y'all. Anyway, so what I want to do here is basically, good boy, Sammy. What I want to do is have this YouTube channel for me and for others. And for me, the capacity I want it for me is I'm kind of like doing Project Kim, where a year from now, I'm hoping to have none of this belly, look better, feel better, do better, help more people, help more animals. So it's almost like Project Kim, like the journey to help myself through helping others. Now I have no subscribers. I don't even know how to upload, or I know how to upload the videos to YouTube, but I don't know how to edit anything yet. So this is just going to be thrown on there, and whatever it is, it is. So here we go. What I wanted to do is explain how last year in 2019 I had to go to inpatient one at a hospital. One was called Center State in Freehold. Another one was Princeton House in was it Princeton? I guess. I think the inpatient is Princeton. Even though it's called Princeton House, it has many different places because I did the outpatient in North Brunswick. But anyway, while I was there, I learned about, at the outpatient, was there 2 different times, both for over the average time. I think I was there 13, 14 weeks both times. Because the first time around I had a really hard time. Long story short, which I think I'll have in another video, what happened to me. Oh, this is, well, her name is Zena, but I call her Little One because when I got her, she was this little. And so anyway, the point of my story is I started having these pass out episodes, like passing out. And whenever I would wake up, I would become suicidal for like 2 weeks. I guess it changed my brain. Something happened. I'd never been suicidal in my life before that. I mean, I've been very, very, very depressed before, but this was like beyond. But that's another story, another video. I actually wrote it down, like the timeline, because so many bad things happened to me last year. I don't want to dwell on those things. I dwelled on them enough last year, and it got me nowhere. So I am going to start from here. Basically, when I was in the, excuse me, I'm just getting something over here. When I was in the outpatient, they gave us a, well, actually it's like a binder. They gave us a binder, but the binder was filled with basically this. I don't know if you could see, DBT skills training. Handbook and Worksheets by Marcia Linehan, or Linehan, however, I don't know, or Linen, I don't know, however you pronounce her name. But this is something that did help me along. But I do have to say that almost every single thing in this book I already knew and did. I just didn't have a name for it. But this woman put it in, a very organized way so that you can have a toolbox to pull out when you're feeling a certain way, to not feel that way anymore. Who wants to feel bad all the time? Well, there probably is some people out there that enjoy it, but I don't. So anyway, the whole idea is DBT skills. It's dialectical behavior therapy, and dialectical is basically two things can exist at the same time. Like, I don't know, for example, your mom says something horrible to you. You hate what she just did, but you love her at the same time. So, dialectical. But anyway, the whole idea is I wanted to bring this to, as many people who would need it, because it could definitely be helpful. So I'm just turning the pages. Like I said, I'm not an editor of these videos yet, so in the meantime, it's just gonna be me throwing it out there with all the in-betweens. So anyway, these are the general handouts, orientation handouts. Now, the way they did it at the outpatient was they basically, what's the word? It was cumulative or comprehensive, or I don't know the exact word, where, it doesn't matter where you start, they went in order. So like if you started here in the book, you would eventually make your way around to the beginning of the book anyway, as long as you were there long enough. So let's start out. Basically, the goal of this is to learn how to change your own behaviors, emotions, and thoughts that are linked to problems in living and are causing misery and distress. Specific goals: behaviors to decrease mindlessness, emptiness, being out of touch with self and others, judgmentalness, interpersonal conflict and stress, loneliness, absence of flexibility, difficulties with change, up and down and extreme emotions, mood-dependent behavior, difficulties in regulating emotions, impulsive behaviors, acting without thinking, difficulties accepting reality as it is, willfulness, and addiction. Skills you want to increase are mindfulness skills, interpersonal effectiveness skills, emotion regulation skills, and distress tolerance skills. Now, these sound, I don't know, very general, but they do, you can use it as you go along for like specific situations. But I just wanted to give you an overview. So like the 4 different things is mindfulness, interpersonal skills, emotion regulation, and distress tolerance are the 4 different categories of the things will be learning, hopefully, together. And this is somewhat of a review for me, but it, when you teach something, you learn it better, or it sticks in your head better. And I could definitely use that. So, when life presents you with problems, what are your options? Well, number 1 is solve the problem. Yeah, because that's easy. You could change the situation, or avoid, or leave, or get out of the situation for good. Yes, very general, and yes, there's many things that you're like, yeah, okay, if it was that easy, I would have done that already. I know. So let's keep going. Number 2 is feel better about the problem. Change or regulate your emotional response to the problem. Again, easier said than done, but the skills that I'm going to go over should help eventually. Number 3 is tolerate the problem. Basically, accept and tolerate both the problem and your response to the problem. And number 4 is stay miserable or possibly make it worse. So, those are your options when you are presented with a problem or a feeling or a situation or whatever. It's either solve the problem or feel better about it or tolerate it or stay miserable. Now it's saying to problem solve, use interpersonal effectiveness skills or walking the middle path. We'll get to that, I guess. Use problem solving skills. Okay. Then there is to feel better about the problem, you'll use emotional regulation skills. And to tolerate the problem, you use distress tolerance and mindfulness skills. And to stay miserable, use no skills. So, anyway, this is basically what I'm going to, I guess, be going over. Now, again, some of it sounds simple and some of it is going to sound like, yeah, all right, whatever. But I do know that if on some problems it does work, it does help. So even if it helps with one particular problem that's been bothering you for a long time, hey, it's worth it, I think. I don't know. All right, so this is the guidelines for skills training. This is basically the guidelines if you're in group therapy. Is keep everything confidential. There's no names need to be given, like last names or anything. Do not start a relationship, a private relationship with anyone else in the group, but that's if you're in a group therapy. It's just me and you. So, this is what they call skills training assumptions. Now, an assumption is a belief that cannot be proved, but we're going to agree to abide by it anyway during this learning time. Number 1, people are doing the best they can. All people at any given point in time are doing the best they can. You can agree or disagree with this. I think people want to do the best they can, but I also think that there's many times people are not doing the best they can. But that's my opinion. Let's continue. Number 2, people want to improve. The common characteristic of all people is that they want to improve their lives and be happy. I would say, again, these are generalizations, and 90% maybe, I don't know, want to improve. There's other people that are absolutely happy where the hell they are. Again, just my opinion, and we're not supposed to assume that during learning this stuff. Then, number 3, people need to do better, try harder, and be more motivated to change. Okay. If that's the case, hey, Sammy, if that's the case, then why are they saying that at all times people are doing the best they can? If they're already doing the best they can, why do they need to do better, try harder, and be more motivated to change? But, again, maybe I'm reading into it wrong. It says the fact that people are doing the best they can, it does address that, and want to do even better does not mean that these things are enough to solve the problem. Okay. So see, I'm having opinions on these things before I'm even getting further on the page. I should just shut my mouth and read as I go. Number 4, people may not have caused all of our problems, but they have to solve them anyway. People have to change their own behavioral responses and alter their environment for their life to change. Number 5, new behavior has to be learned in all relevant contexts. New behavioral skills have to be practiced in the situations where the skills are needed, not just in the situation where the skills are first learned. Number 6, all behaviors, actions, thoughts, emotions are caused. There is always a cause or set of causes for our actions, thoughts, and emotions, even if we do not know what the causes are. Number 7, figuring out and changing the causes of behavior work better than judging and blaming. Judging and blaming are easier, but if we want to create change in the world, we have to change the chain of events that cause unwanted behaviors, and events. Okay, so that's what we're assuming is a standard here before we get into the rest of the book and learning the skills. So, now we go into biosocial theory. Why do I have so much trouble controlling my emotions and my actions? Emotional vulnerability is biological. It's simply how some people are born. They are more sensitive to emotional stimuli. They can detect subtle information. They can detect subtle emotional information in the environment that others don't even notice. They experience emotions much more often than others. Their emotions seem to hit for no reason from out of the blue. They have more intense emotions. Their emotions hit like a ton of bricks, and their emotions are long lasting. I believe that I am one of these people. I'm definitely an empath. I'm empathetic to everything. I feel what other people feel, maybe even harsher than they feel it. Which some people are like, oh, that's a gift. I don't think it is. I mean, I guess it could be. I guess, it's double-edged sword, or I don't even know if that's the right cliche to say, but it helps me help others and understand others and be non-judgmental, and it's helped me help animals and understand what's going on, but it's also been my burden of feeling all those horrible feelings so intensely. So anyway, impulsivity also has a biological basis. Regulating action is harder for some than for others. They find it hard to restrain impulsive behaviors. Often without thinking, they do things that get them in trouble. Sometimes their behavior seems to come out of nowhere. They find it very hard to be effective. Their moods get in the way of organizing to achieve their goals. They cannot control behaviors linked to their moods. Now, this doesn't necessarily label any of these people, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that this might describe. And also, there's all these other things on this page that I'm not going to get into. It doesn't really matter. So basically, what this book is trying to teach you is that you're going to have emotions, you're going to have a situation, you're going to have things that happen to you that you can't control, and then there's going to be things that you can control, like your response to it. And how you control your response to it is basically what all these tools are hoping to help you do. So that is going to be, I guess, the basis for my my YouTube channel. Is once in a while I'll come in here and go over this book, and once again, and we will see how it goes. Okay, and in the meantime, I might do other stuff. I don't know. Come here, Molly Chini. I have another dog, and she's being crazy right now over there. But anyway, so hopefully I see you soon, and stay well during the coronavirus. All right.